I'm still actually a little sick, but overall, the protocol I gave, the one I shared yesterday, one of the days, yesterday, I think, was quite helpful as currently I only have a bit of voice change and a bit of blockage on my nose. But overall, I'm quite energetic. I still get things done. And the protocol itself is so extreme. I recovered really in a day. And my productivity has not really been affected. And that just leaves to proof if you do the right thing, it will definitely work. It works for your body, then it works for you. Good job. Today, I want to talk about a topic that been asked by one of my Discord members. He actually he's a fellow Malaysian. DM me after he joined the Discord like, yo bro, how do you do this? How do you do that? One specific thing he asked me was excuse me, apologies. That how do you study? How do you absorb knowledge better, right? Like how do you study for this? How do you study for that? One thing I want all of you to know is that don't limit yourself to just study is just reading the textbook, reading the material, doing the exercise. No, no, no. That is only the surface level on iceberg. There's a lot more ways to learn, which I'll refer to meta learning. Meta learning is basically learning how to learn. Yes. And now we're going to learn how to learn effectively. One thing of very crucial thing is to know what time you're most productive on. Some people are very productive on daytime. Some people are very active on night time. Some people are like in between or they're both, right? They can be both. Find what is suits you. Like what time your best efficiency peak at. For me, it is mostly on the morning. So I'll focus on waking up early and getting most of my things done. Or if you are a nighttime person, then you just stay up late, like sleep a bit later and then wake up a bit later and then just stay up a bit late. That's another alternative. Or your body could handle both, which is good. Then you just pick whatever, pick one or two. That's all. So after you know that, I need you to learn about step number 2. This is very crucial. Other than learning what time you peak performance at, is to not limit yourself to one type of learning. There's 3 general ways of learning: looking, listening, reading. And I think the last one is actually doing it, like experiment or even just writing things down. And genuinely, even though you are actually very, like, let's say you're very good at absorbing once you hear that thing, don't limit yourself to just listen, because it's human nature for you to actually have all of those other traits. It's just that one is more dominant and less is less, the other one is less dominant. That's all. So what you do is that you combine all of them together when you are learning. Like when you're reading the material, let's say you're reading, you don't just read in your mind, you read it out loud. You read it out loud so you can hear it. And when you're speaking it, there's another sense. And you're reading it, you're looking at it. So that's multiple layers already. And this is only just like the beginning, right? So let's talk about how are the other steps to actually help you to embrace that knowledge, like engrave that knowledge into your mind. How do you have like long-term memory on the knowledge you learn? A few ways for you to do that. One of the methods are, let me just mute my notifications, going a bit crazy. So the first method that I would highly encourage is not just to read, but actually to try it out for yourself. Like try to disprove it on your own. Let's say I said the sun is red, right, during the evening. Why? Then you try to prove it. Why is it right or wrong? Try to explain it. Try to explain to yourself, is this right? Is this wrong? So in this manner of terms, you're explaining about in your own terms. When you explain your own terms, it's easier for you to understand. And not just easier for you to understand, your brain would like absorb this knowledge very fast. And this is called the Feynman technique. Number two, what you need to do here is that other than that, you need to take out from what you learn. Let's say you have a notes, right, for what you learn. Let's say it's chemistry about organic compound. Let's say you want to learn, your test is going to be about alcohol groups. So what you're going to do is that you take half an hour, you read your notes about that chapter, that subtopic. After you read them, you put them aside, close them off, and then try to recall everything you know about that subtopic. Write it down in another piece of paper. Right. Write everything you have. Know the name, the functional groups, the etc. Everything, right? Write everything down. And once you wrote everything down, and you can't think of anything else, you take out back your notes and compare on what things you left out. Compare on both papers, on the original one and the new one, which one is not put on, like what is missing. Then use another color pen. You write it down on the new one. Right after that, after you complete that step, now you read the new notes. You look at the new note and then you emphasize on the different pen. The pen that you miss out, right? That color. And after that, you try again with another piece of paper and then you put that aside. And then you repeat the process until all of them is just the same color. This actually trains your mind into actively recall and not be reliant on, reliant like you flipping the book. It actually goes into your long-term memory storage. And you're gonna go into the third step. The one thing that people actually overlook. This system is so powerful that it is the top best method that encouraged by everyone around the world. You ask like all those scholars, all those students, top scholars, you ask them, yo, how do you study? Like, how do you have so good memory on the knowledge? They don't tell you they study, bro. They tell you one thing. Nah, I didn't study. In fact, I didn't study at all. I rarely study, right? The key to do it is to have your 90% of knowledge retention rate. Yes, knowledge. It's called knowledge retention rate. 90%. The best of the best is teaching others. Yes, you heard me right. By you teaching others, it not just fortifies on your own understanding, it also fortifies on the fact that since you're teaching others, everything that you know is constantly getting thrown out. It's constantly getting used. So the more usage of the knowledge, what does it gain? It means that you're more actively using it, so your brain will actually capture on it. And if you try to explain to someone on a certain thing, and you can't really explain really well, then that's a sign to tell you that you're not really fully grasped on the concept. So that gives you a sign. It tells you that you should learn more about that. So it's a really good feedback and a very good reward system. Your friend learns something, at the same time you get knowledge retention rate. It is absolutely insane when you apply all of this technique, I tell you. And now I have another crucial one. This is actually a very fun one to try it out. Is that other than that, right? One thing you could, and I highly encourage you to do, is that a lot of times when you're answering exams, you're doing this and that, have an analysis right after you do the paper. Look at what chapters you're bad in. Because post-exam analysis is extremely crucial to know what chapters you're bad in. And when you know that chapters you're bad in, you apply what 3 methods I tell you just now for the knowledge retention rate, and suddenly, boom, you crush everything. I tried that. I attempted that. As a matter of fact, I could tell you, before my semester exam, I failed. I failed my further math test. I got below 50%, which is so bad. That was out of my standard. And my lecturer was shocked about my result. And then I took that time, I took that responsibility, and I take that time right after like the class. I sit down, I look at what I got wrong, where am I wrong, what went wrong, etc. I went to everything and I redo a reattempt. And few days down the line, I sit for the actual semester exam. And let me tell you this, I completely destroyed the paper. Like the paper's not even challenged to me. because I practice all those steps I tell you. If you don't believe it, try it out yourself. And if you watch until here, if you have a lot more questions you want to ask, and you genuinely want to learn more, join the Discord down below. You can ask me questions there, I'll answer you. Sometimes I'll make a video about it, sometimes I won't. You get knowledge, you gain insight.